Since this channel started, one question keeps showing up in the comments more than any other. Should I actually buy a smart feeder, or am I overthinking this? I've been putting off answering that directly because the honest answer isn't a yes or no. It's something you can only actually see once you line up everything we've found investigating this stuff one piece at a time. So that's what we're doing today. Every real finding from this channel, laid out together, pointing at one answer. Let's start where this channel started. A $200 smart camera feeder and the subscription hiding behind it. The camera itself was fine. Good footage, decent build quality. But the actual smart features, species identification, video history, the stuff that makes it feel worth the price, sat behind a monthly fee most people never noticed until the free trial ended and the app quietly stopped working the way it did on day one. That led directly to the next test. A $10 basic feeder against that same $200 camera, judged purely on what actually matters, attracting and keeping hummingbirds. And the basic feeder won. Not by a little. The camera's narrower ports and more complicated shape made it harder to use and harder to clean, and hummingbirds noticed before we did. That result kept showing up again once we actually looked at feeder design on its own, separate from cameras entirely. And this is the one that surprised even me. It turns out the single biggest health risk sitting in most backyards has nothing to do with price or brand. It's shape. Bottle-style feeders with narrow necks trap moisture and residue in exactly the spots you can't reach with a quick rinse, which is exactly the kind of environment that grows mold fast in summer heat. Wide, shallow, saucer-style feeders don't have that problem, because there's nowhere for anything to hide in the first place. And here's something worth telling you honestly. After that video went up, it became the most watched thing on this channel by a wide margin, and it wasn't an accident. Backyard birding communities, independently, on forums that have nothing to do with this channel, say almost the exact same thing. Cleaning ease matters more than anything else, and narrow neck bottles that trap mold genuinely harm the birds people are trying to attract. We didn't discover something new. We just said out loud what a lot of experienced backyard birders already knew and hadn't seen explained clearly anywhere else. Then there's behavior, not just hardware. Territorial fighting at feeders turned out to be about visibility, not food supply. A single dominant hummingbird can guard two feeders just as easily as one if it can see both from the same perch. The fix isn't a fancier feeder. It's distance and a blocked line of sight between feeding stations, something that costs nothing and has nothing to do with price at all. And most recently, what actually goes into the nectar matters more than most people realize. Honey ferments and grows mold faster than plain sugar water. Brown and raw sugar carry trace iron that can build up in a hummingbird's liver over time. Red dye does nothing for the bird and carries an unproven risk for no benefit. The answer there wasn't a specialty product either. It was the cheapest thing on the shelf, plain white sugar mixed 1:4 with water. So look at that list all together for a second. A subscription that adds cost without adding real value. An expensive camera that loses to a basic feeder. A premium-looking bottle that's actually worse for hygiene than a plain saucer. A fight that gets fixed with distance, not gear. And a nectar mistake that gets fixed by using the cheapest ingredient instead of the fanciest one. There's a pattern running through every single one of those, and it's not subtle once you see it laid out like this. The expensive, feature-heavy option kept losing to the simple, well-designed one over and over across 5 completely different investigations. That's not a coincidence, and it's not me being contrarian for the sake of it. It's what actually happened every time we tested it. So here's the actual verdict, the one this whole channel has been building toward without me saying it outright until now. You don't need a smart feeder to have a great hummingbird yard. What you need is a feeder shaped for easy cleaning, positioned with real distance from other feeders and dense cover, filled with plain sugar water at the right ratio, changed regularly. That's the entire strategy. It costs a fraction of what a smart setup costs, and based on everything we've actually tested, it works better, not worse. If you genuinely want the camera experience, the video history, watching your yard from your phone, that's still a real reason to buy a smart feeder. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that. Just go in knowing you're buying entertainment, not a better outcome for the birds. Those turned out to be two different things this whole time, and mixing them up is where most of the money gets wasted. If you're just getting started, or if you've been overwhelmed trying to figure out where to even begin, this is genuinely it. Simple feeder, right shape, right spacing, right nectar. Everything else is optional. Links to the specific feeders and the cleaning brush that came up as the actual winners across this whole series are below this video. If this finally answered the question you've been asking since video 1, subscribe. There's a lot more backyard mysteries worth digging into, and this is exactly where we'll keep doing it.